The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach us this hour, 800-848-9222. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Those around former Congressman Eric Swalwell. Now, all of a sudden, wait, I didn't know. I had no idea. He was doing what? Stop the nonsense. Maybe you didn't know that he was drugging and raping women. Maybe you didn't know to that degree. But you knew, you heard the rumblings. Birds of a feather flock together. You're talking to Dominic. You're not talking to somebody that don't know. You had an idea of exactly what he was doing because I'm going to let you folks know today, right? I'm going to put it all out there because nobody's talking about the fact. Again, I'm sure that they didn't know he was allegedly dating and drugging and raping women. But in this society, men high-five each other. That's the truth, based on the conquest of how many women that one may have. It's disgusting, but it is the reality. But we are starting with this. Politics in our country have become so hardened, so bad, that we don't care. We could care less what happens to the other side. We just don't care. In fact, the worse off the other side is, the better. How can we forget just a few months ago, a man trying to bring America together, Charlie Kirk, at a rally in front of hundreds, is shot in the neck, bleeding out, and dies a short time later. And what does the critics do? What do the haters do? Well, you had in Chicago one teacher mocking Charlie Kirk, grabbing her neck like she had been shot during a protest. This man was vilified, crucified, and whatever else you could think of after he was shot in the neck sitting on a chair in front of hundreds at a rally. So he's gone, his kids, daddy's not there, and it leaves his wife, Erica Kirk. And to her credit, she has vowed to continue Charlie Kirk's work, and it's admirable what she's doing. But it's utterly disgusting that this woman is now receiving death threats after she had to deal with the situation of burying her husband, the man that she called her soulmate. And now she's getting death threats. And it's so serious for Erica Kirk, for the widow, for the mother. And the other side doesn't care. All we care about is we want to stab, wound, jab the other side because they're wrong on the issues. Everybody's not wrong, folks. But it's so bad. I've never been to Athens, Georgia. I've been to Atlanta many times. I've been to Savannah. I want to get to Athens. I want to see a Georgia Bulldogs football game. They rank very well every year. They win the national championship. But she was set to appear in Athens with the Vice President of the United States, Vice President Vance. And we know what that means, all the Secret Service that entails. Erica Kirk, because of serious threats against her life, backed out of the event. It went on with the vice president and someone sitting in for her, but she was not there. This is how bad, how polarized politics are in our country. The vice president at the event explaining that she was not there.
First of all, I love Erica, and I know that she did get some threats. And, about 2 hours ago, as you know, Andrew, I was a little worried that we were going to have to cancel the event because Erica was not going to come, and she was very worried about it. And I talked to the Secret Service, and obviously these guys do a very good job. And I said, you know what? Let's let Erica do what she needs to do for herself and her family. I'm sure Andrew will fill in. And let's go and make this an amazing event with the Georgia Bulldogs in Athens, Georgia. So absolutely, we're going to do this thing. But look, I mean, in so many ways, you know, when did Charlie die? It was mid-September, I believe.
September 10th.
And in the past, that's right, it was the day right before September 11th. And in so many ways, the past 6 or so months have been two separate living hells for Erica Kirk. And the first is, of course, that she lost her husband.
And so the vice president explaining that she was not going to be at the event in Athens. Folks, this has to stop. It has to stop. People can agree to disagree on political issues. The other side is not you, the devil, where you wish them harm and so on. But this is where politics are in our country. And I want to know, how do we fix it? How do we mend the divide? How do we get there? Eric Swalwell, I didn't know, I had no idea. I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know. From Nancy Pelosi and on, I didn't know. Everybody declares they didn't know. Listen to this news report.
I care about is, number one, stopping the lies that are happening about me and about my family. Everyone else can make their political calculations. Fact is, this has been awful. It's been an awful situation for the victims. It's been an awful situation, again, for Eric's family. It's been an awful situation for my family. We've been betrayed. We were lied to repeatedly and manipulated for many years.
Well, you just heard from Arizona Senator Ruben Gallegos speaking out about his former close friend and fellow Democrat Congressman Eric Swalwell amid some very serious allegations of sexual misconduct.
So Gallego was telling reporters he feels, quote, betrayed, as we just heard, saying Swalwell lied to him and his family and denied any knowledge of the accusations against him. Gallego also denying that he was the man in a video posted to social media this week that shows Eric Swalwell in bed with a woman.
There was a video online that surfaced of Eric Swalwell making out with a woman sitting next to someone. Was that you sitting next to him?
This is an example of the lies. No, I was not sitting next to him. I was not in the room. I was nowhere. I don't even know where it happened. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Chris LaCivita and a bunch of other right-wing political operatives are pushing this narrative that somehow I was in that room with Eric Swalwell, and that is an absolute lie.
So everybody from Nancy Pelosi on down, I didn't know. You knew. Maybe you didn't know that he was drugging and allegedly raping women, but you knew. And for the men around this, cut it out. Ladies, here's the truth. Men in private high-five each other, right? And wink, wink, nod, nod, based on how many women they're sleeping with. That's a fact. And anybody that tells you different is lying to you, or they don't know what they're talking about. Men in private high-five each other. Yeah, you see that one? I slept with that one. You see this one? I slept with her. You see her? I'm about to sleep with her. It's a conquest. It's wrong, but it exists. And anybody that's saying you didn't know, you heard the rumors about this guy, and he probably bragged to you. He didn't tell you the full details of what he was doing, and we see all your telephone calls. We're about to get to them. He didn't tell you the full details of allegedly drugging and raping, but he said, oh, she wants me. I slept with her. That's what men do. Ladies, that's the truth. I'm sorry to tell you the truth like that, but you know what time it is, ladies. You know exactly what happens here. I want you to listen to this. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller sounding off on the former congressman.
Has the president said anything about Swalwell? I don't know if he said anything. Has he been following that?
Why, has he had a bad week, Jesse? I haven't been watching.
You might be busy with bigger matters of war and peace.
Couldn't have happened to a better person. But look, here's the most important thing if we have 10 seconds on this, and I'm sure you would agree with this. The most important part about this story, and look, Swalwell is a scumbag. He is a terrible person, the worst of the worst, the lowest of the low, the most dishonest of the most dishonest. But the real story here is how the Democrat Party controls its members through blackmail. It's got a blackmail file on all of its politicians, and it uses them to leverage and control them until it's time to release it. That is how sick and twisted the Democrat Party is. That's the next thread we've got to pull out here, Jess.
All right, folks, let's begin with your telephone calls. Let's start with Gracie in Rockland County, New York. Gracie, what's on your mind?
Dominic, what you said was absolutely right about the guys, okay? It's absolutely right. And I know I'm 78 years old. Okay, what I called about was the Pope. Is it all right if I talk about that?
Go ahead, Gracie, go ahead.
Okay. Number one, I'm 78. I went to Catholic school for 12 years. I taught CCD for 13 years, okay? So I'm pretty good in my religion. I know my religion. Okay. Now, as far as the Pope, maybe he has a very short memory, but to equate the United States with Iran and the Muslims is not fair. Did he forget about 9/11? Now, of course, they're going to say, if Iran gets the bomb, they will use it. You see what they did in 9/11? Wake up, everybody. Even you hate Trump. Wake up. Don't you care about your grandchildren and your children? I've said this stink song again and again. That's all I care about is my grandchildren. You know I was ready to bomb the Palestinians October 9th, and you calmed me down. But I knew this was not going to end well. You have to get that first punch in or you're dead. Thank you, Dominic.
Gracie, thank you for the call as always. Let's go to Mary, line 4 in Queens. Mary, what's on your mind?
Thank you for taking my call. 2 parts. I'll be quick. First one has to do with Nick Shirley, the young investigative reporter who is over the target right now in California as far as fraud, and how yesterday in the California Assembly, the Attorney General's wife, Bob Bonter's wife, filed a bill which passed through, fast-tracked, that basically fines, I think it's up to $10,000 on any independent journalist exposing fraud in California. That's part one.
Hey, Mary, I got to take a break. What was your second point? We're going to hear Mr. Shirley, what he had to say in a few minutes. What was your second point quickly, please?
Into the medical, unvetted medical, especially in California. I don't know if you know this, but since Newsom was over in Europe, when Trump was there, California joined the WHO. And maybe not on paper, but it's appearing that the California Med Association is acting as a WHO EU jurisdiction.
I hear you, Mary. I'm late for a break. I have to step in. I'm sorry. A lot of what they do in California is absolutely crazy. Mary, thank you for the great call. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This is my job. It's what I've been doing for the last 6 years. And I'm terrified to do my job. I can't even interview people properly on the street because I got brutally assaulted and pushed to the ground by a 250-pound man for simply going and reporting on anti-ICE activities.
And that is reporter Savannah Hernandez, Turning Point USA reporter Savannah Hernandez. She does a good job of confronting people. She should not have to deal with that type of situation. Here we go again. Another American killed, another illegal charge. This time it happened in Atlanta, Georgia, and it happened to a Department of Homeland Security employee. And now the entire city of Atlanta is in mourning.
An arrest affidavit outlines what police say happened in the moments before Bullis was killed. The affidavit alleges Bullis was walking her dog when investigators say Abel drove past her, got out, followed her down the street, and then, they say, shot and stabbed her. According to the Department of Homeland Security, Bullis was a DHS employee. And when a neighbor came by to add flowers to the memorial today, she tells us she'll miss seeing Bullis on her daily walk And she adds that this never should have happened.
To see her every morning, and now when I get out in the morning and I know I'm not going to see her again, it just does something. Somebody didn't do their job because he should not have been out. If you got a lengthy record, you need to be still in prison somewhere, not out roaming, especially with the gun. Where'd he get a gun from?
The Department of Homeland Security said Bullis, quote, brought warmth, kindness, and a genuine sense of care to her colleagues each day. She was the kind of person who made others feel valued and supported, and her presence will be deeply missed.
And that from Atlanta News First. Let's go back to your telephone calls here. Let's go to Mike in Westchester, line 5. Mike, what's on your mind?
Yeah, hi, Dominic. How are you? Listen, I think there's a theme here on all of what you've talked about before.
Wait. I've talked about many things. What are you referring to?
Well, very directly. Swalwell, people knew, didn't say anything. All the fraud in California and Minnesota, people knew and didn't say anything. What's happening in Europe with the Muslim countries is no different. Muslims are invading Europe. People know it. No one will address it. No one will report on it factually. That's why the European countries didn't back us in the blockade of right.
But you know what, William? You call and make this same point every single time. Is there anything else you can add new to the conversation?
Listen, I trust you. I trust WABC.
No, I got you. But it becomes annoying when you make the same point every single time about the Muslims in Europe, and that the reason why leadership won't act on it is because they're afraid of them. Now, don't I got you down pretty accurately as to what you call and say?
Why don't you do what Nick?
No, you're done. Cut him off. Let's go to line 1. William in Manhattan. William, what's on your mind?
Dominic, you are fabulous. Second-time caller.
Thank you.
Hey,
really glad to hear that.
Regarding the Straits of Hormuz, I can never figure out what's going on over there. It seems to be very gray area.
Hey, William, I want you to do me a favor, because I don't, first time caller, I don't want to cut you off, and I have a hard national break in 14 seconds. So if you don't mind waiting for a few minutes here, I'm going to come back to you. I want to get to your call so we can chat with each other. 800-848-9222.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
NATO was not there for us. And what it means, if they're not there for us here, they're not going to be there for us. So why are we spending hundreds of billions of dollars a year on NATO if they're not going to be with us? If they're not going to be with us on Iran, they're not going to be with us on a much bigger subject than Iran.
And the president is exactly correct there as it relates to NATO, many of these European countries. And so we're talking about Swalwell and all of those antics and so on. And what's happening to him now couldn't happen to a nicer guy. And again, these are allegations. Nothing is proven. But I want you to keep in mind what this clown said to Kristi Noem and Tom Homan, top Trump officials when they went before Congress. Listen to the bravado, how he was practically beating his chest.
And Kristi Noem and Tom Homan, you should familiarize yourself with the four corners of this room. Kristi Noem and Tom Homan, get to know that witness chair. You're going to be parked in it for a long time. You're going to have a lot of questions under oath with the subpoena power. And I hope what you're doing is clean and can withstand the scrutiny that everyone on this side of the aisle is going to bring. You think we won't do it. You think you're invincible. You're wrong. Accountability is coming. You've got about a year, and I yield back.
Clean, withstand scrutiny. Did you just hear what Swalwell said directly himself? Did you hear this man? And again, To the women that knew him and the men, especially the men, cut it out. You didn't know. Perhaps you didn't know that he was allegedly drugging and raping women. But one of the things that's not talked about, and women know this, guys high-five each other based on the amount of women that they're sleeping with. Wink, wink, nod, nod. When you're in the locker room, right? You're in the locker room. I used to play sports, right? Guys brag. I'm sleeping with her. I'm sleeping with her. She doesn't know. I'm sleeping with this one. I'm sleeping with that one. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying for all of these politicians to come forth and now say they didn't know. Come on. Who do you think you're talking to? You may not have known the extent, but you knew. So I'm going back to your telephone calls in just 1 second. I mentioned William, line 1 in Manhattan. I'm going to go back to him. I see Judith amongst the calls, a number of calls. Ray, Putnam County. We'll get to your calls. But I want to go back to one of the latest victims that has come forth. She acknowledged that she didn't have the rape kit done, but she went to a sexual counseling center in Connecticut. And people that knew her, she said she made them aware of what had happened to her. She accused Swalwell with her attorneys yesterday of drugging her, raping her. And I want you to listen to an extended soundbite of exactly what she had to say.
I did not consent to any sexual activity. Although I did not undergo a rape kit at the time, I disclosed the assault to the people closest to me. I also recorded these events in my handwritten calendar. The assault and its impact were later documented during my therapy sessions at a sexual assault center in Connecticut. It had a profound impact on my mental health. I self-medicated in an unhealthy way. I did not want to live anymore. I cried all the time for years. At the time, I was in a dating relationship with a boyfriend I was fully committed to. I've never cheated in my life, and I would never have engaged in a consensual sexual encounter with Eric Swalwell. That reality further underscores the non-consensual nature of what occurred. It was a politically unusual and intense time in Beverly Hills, and I was considering a run for city council, which placed me in proximity to political figures and events and added to the pressure to remain composed and silent. Eric was aware I owned a software company, and he spoke repeatedly about his ability to make introductions in Silicon Valley, referencing his political representation and influence there. I was not interested in him romantically, but I was interested in the business relationship and professional connections he offered to provide. My delay in taking action against Eric was driven by fear, not doubt. Fear of his political power, his background as an attorney, and his family law enforcement ties. I have never doubted what happened. I stand with the other women who have come forward, and I will be making a report to law enforcement shortly with my attorneys.
Now, I'm sorry. Does that sound like somebody that's lying to you or making this up? 800-848-9222. Let's go back to William in Manhattan. I think it was William I was talking to right before the break. Line 1, what's on your mind, sir?
Hey, Dominic, again, you're fabulous. Love the show.
Thank you. Just
regarding the Straits of Hormuz, there's something I don't get. It's a very gray area. With all of our power and expertise, and I'm 100% behind the president and everything he does, I don't understand why, with 110 ships going through there on a normal day, we can't control that strait. And is it the mines? Is it people we can't see or didn't anticipate? It's been weeks now, and I don't get it. I just thought you might have a take on that.
Well, I think that you were accurate in terms of the mines. They have sweepers out there, the Navy and so on, to try and catch these things, but it's a very delicate process. And they have not completely, they meaning us, the United States, they've not completely controlled the process completely up until recently with this blockade. I say, and I thank you, William, for the call. You say you're 100% with President Trump. I say stay 100% with President Trump. At the end of the day, if this is if we're around the table and we're playing blackjack, let's say in Vegas, the dealer's about to deal out the cards. William, your first card is a 10. That's there, and then your next card is an ace. Blackjack. That's the Trump administration. Have a little patience. Not Hollywood. These things are not going to resolve themselves with the snap of a finger. But bet on President Trump. Let's go to Judith, line 2 in Brooklyn. What's on your mind, Judith?
Hi, Dominic. I heard your opening. You're going to talk about Erica and the death threat that she had to last minute cancel her concert or rally, whatever.
Rally.
So here's what I'd like to say. Team Crazy has brought cancel culture to new meaning. Literally, cancel someone's life. That's the new thing that they want to do. They have upgraded it. If you take a look at this guy, Jay Jones in Georgia, when he was running against his opponent, he threatened to kill his opponent and his 2 sons, and he won. How he won, I've no idea. It's like you have to figure, who are these people? Who are these team crazy people that are electing people that are actually saying they're going to cancel you, literally, kill you, snuff you out? You know, there's another guy, I forgot his name. I was looking him up. I couldn't find him. He was running in a different place as Attorney General, and he was pledging to literally kill Trump through the legal system. That's how team crazy. They're literally cheering this on, okay? They have no problem also with illegals murdering Americans. We're dealing with team crazy. Who are these team crazy? They're a combination. They are a combination of DSA, of a Marxist, radical Islamist, lefty crazy people, or people from outside of the country that are influencing over here and paying people to just go in there and do all kinds of crazy stuff. So, like, this is what we're up against, and it's really, really very upsetting, to say the least, Dominic. What do you think?
Well, this latest case in Georgia, this woman in the prime of her life, photos of her out jogging, hiking, worked for the Department of DHS, worked for the feds herself, right? And this illegal let in under Biden, very good-looking woman, and he decided that apparently that he wanted her. I'm not going to be surprised if at the end of the day that she was not sexually assaulted, but he ended up shooting her and stabbing her and killing her. And but Judith, before I let you go, let's go back to Erica Kirk. Explain this to me. This woman had to watch the video of her husband being killed in real time before a few hundred people, perhaps a few thousand. She's got daughters or children that she has to raise. Why would you go and threaten her life? Why would you do that? That's not the manly thing to do. Judith, I almost slipped and said something. They would have had to beat me. That's some real, I'm not going to say the term, you know what stuff. That's what little, oh, I wish I could say the term, but I can't. Right. Yes, I'm glad you beat, because I was about to say it. Judith, what man watched Charlie Kirk get assassinated and then wants to assassinate his wife and gleefully talk about it? Who in their right mind does some you-know-what like that?
Because you know what? Today, unfortunately, they turn these people into heroes. Would you believe it? They turn this Luigiani, whatever guy, he is a hero, don't you know? So it's a hero. So they want to just finish up. They are threatened by her. They are threatened by the movement. They thought they will kill Charlie and the movement will go away. I think it's gotten even stronger.
They made it stronger.
So it's a combination. Yes. And, so she's a threat. She's a threat. And they want to be a hero. They want to be a hero. Unfortunately, this is part of being crazy. We're dealing with a lot of crazy people here, Dominic. It is really, really upsetting, really upsetting. I'm not scared. It's not scary, but it's very upsetting because you know what? We have to fight back. And we have to fight back the way they know how to fight, okay? We can't just be, what's it called? Political correct and whatever. That's out the window. We now have to fight the way they fight, okay, somehow. We've got to answer them back. We've got to stand up for ourselves. And you know what? I love what President Trump is doing. God bless President Trump, and God bless everything he does. I know he does it for the good, okay, everything he does. He's not trying to make a war. He's trying to protect all these people, let's say in Iran. 45,000 innocent people were gunned down, okay? They hung this wrestler for what reason? By the way,
and they're about to hang a woman.
Oh, my God. Yeah, right. It's not, this is what they do. This regime has to go.
Judith, before I let you go, because I have to get on to other callers, help me out with this. And it's not politically correct, but, I mean, in your opinion as a woman, why, like all of this with Swalwell, I didn't know. When they know darn well that men brag about their conquests to each other. Now, maybe you didn't know that he was drugging women and raping them, but you knew because 9 out of 10 men talk about this. Why do you think men do that? One, Judith.
I'm not a man, so I can't tell you because women are completely different. They're not into bragging of anything of that kind.
Right.
And the truth is, when you want to deal with someone that's decent, that's loving, that's moral, that's respectful of women, that puts women on a platter, like silver platter and stuff like that. These people are sleazebags. I'm telling you now, he's not the only one. Neither Gonzalez. There must be a lot of sleazebags out there, and the more power they have, the more they think they can get away with it, and they do. They do.
Judith, thank you for the telephone call. And the reason why I'm putting it out there, folks, because I'm telling you instinctively, I was taught the same thing growing up. Men are taught this growing up. You high five each other, right? And it's despicable. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day. I played this last night to show you what these punks are really like. So one of the two charged in the murder of that 7-month-old baby. Oh, these guys are tough until they get caught. They're the toughest thug on the block until they get caught. And I'm referring to Matthew Rodriguez as he's being walked for the cameras. Listen to him basically crying for mama.
Matthew, what do you have to say to the family?
I didn't do it. I didn't know what was going to happen.
She was 7 months old. What do you have to say to the parents?
It was not my fault. I didn't pull the trigger.
Oh, it was not his fault. The poor little baby. He was just driving the vehicle. I didn't know.
I did not know he was going to pull the trigger.
Right, you didn't know he was going to pull the trigger. Tell that to Bubba in the cell. Tell it to Bubba, okay? And we'll see how much sympathy Bubba has for you. Because Bubba is going to get justice for that 7-month-old baby over and over and over and over again. And I hope you enjoy it. I didn't know. So I'm looking at my emails, and Jim Strayhorn just emailed me, and he says, not all men seek recognition for their conquest. Well, Jim, I don't know about you, but Jim says what you're saying about guys high-fiving each other about their conquest is an over-general statement. Some do, some don't. It's not a universal male behavior. I'm a man, and I never did it, and I know plenty of other men who don't do it. I don't know about you and your buddies, but I played football, very high profile my entire life, and I have seen men do this, and from boys. It starts out from about age 12, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm just trying to say what time it is. Let's go to line 1. Dennis in Manhattan. Dennis, what's on your mind?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Quick, the Ripple. I just want to comment on. You just said something about that incident in Brooklyn with the girl, 7-month-old girl. You think the ripple effect?
7-month-old girl, not 7-year-old, 7-month-old girl. Go ahead. The ripple effect. Go ahead.
The ripple effect with the sergeant being arrested and indicted 2 years ago. Now he's in jail for tossing the cooler at the guy on the moped.
Right. What's the point, man? We're short on time. Get to the point.
Cops. I think that going to be, instead of being proactive, going to be reactive, not do anything on a motorcycle. Maybe that moped went by 2 blocks before. They could have stopped him.
Dennis, I don't understand your point. Can you get to the point as quick as possible? I don't know what you're really saying.
The guy on the moped.
Right.
Who shot the kids.
Right.
They indicted that sergeant. Now cops aren't going to do anything with people on mopeds. They'll just let them go by. If they were
right. And would you do anything? After what happened to that sergeant, would you do anything? Would you be proactive? This is not a joke. This guy is in jail right now. He doesn't belong in jail. The dude that's dead was selling drugs. Come on. I mean, at some point, we have to be honest about this. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Jeanette in the Bronx, line 2. Jeanette, what's on your mind?
Dominic, I can relate to you all the time, and I've been blocked out for weeks trying to get through this line.
Well, whoa, Jeanette, we don't play that. Nobody's blocked out. Even if I don't agree with you, I take people's calls. Now, maybe you didn't get through, but you were not blocked out. We're short on time. Please get to the point.
Yes. Have you heard of the Marriage Encounter family?
Okay, wait, Jeanette, I need you to get to the point quickly, please.
But there was a crowd walking through this block with the zombies. This woman and a bunch of men, they said they came here to ask and died because they have...
Okay, Jeanette, for the last time, you got to get to the point. I'm not understanding a word that you're talking about. What are you trying to say?
All right, I am a rape victim too, okay? And a woman wanted to go to the sex addicts meeting in Manhattan.
Okay.
She didn't want to go alone, so I went with her.
Jeanette, we have 30 seconds left to the show. Get to the point.
Back another time.
Okay, you're going to have to call back. I'm sorry, Jeanette, because we're out of time. Folks, born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been honoring America's heroes ever since. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org. T2T.org. I want you to do me a favor. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. I am back live at midnight. We'll see you then.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?